Hello again.
Um,
So we are here for the fourth video of four in this short series of writing to sell your novel. And this is about how to write your cover letter. So if you are writing usually to an agent to seek their representation, you know, basically trying to get yourself an agent. And cover letter sounds like it should be something that's, maybe, dear so and so, please find enclosed yours sincerely. It sounds like it almost should be that. It is literally just a covering letter. There's actually a bit of an art to
yes,
writing one of these in itself. And whenever you write one, you will tweak it slightly depending on who you're sending it to. You don't send out the exact same letter to
no,
every single agent, which is one mistake that I believe lots of people do make.
yes.
So Hazel, I know you've got something about P's and W's or something you want to talk people
I
through.
do, yes. um, we'll move away from that because otherwise we'll get into toilet humour, and it's probably
I
not
wasn't even thinking that, honestly.
liar. So I do have some experience of writing cover letters, um, and there is an art to it. It's not just here's my novel, hope you like it. It's your way into the agent's life. It's your shop window, basically. You saying, this is what it's all about, this is what I'm all about, let's see if we can work together. But agents are incredibly busy, as we all are. But yes, so we're trying not to take up too much of their time with a letter, so we have to make sure that it's engaging, and a rule of thumb is no more than a page. If your cover letter is going on for pages and pages and pages, it's going to get ignored. Someone's going to get partway through and think, oh, this is how they're writing in the cover letter. I dread to think what their actual book's about. So it really is less is more.
And it
But
might not even make it past the personal
yes,
assistant or whoever.
so less is more, but you want to make every word count. So we were talking about P's and W's. So I have as with all our things, it's not rules, they're more guidelines. We want 4 P's, 3 W's. The 4 P's are personal, people, plot, personality. So the personal is your opener. That's why you've chosen that agent. So if there's an agent, for example, who is famous for her love of romantic comedy, contacting her and saying, I've got this really dark, twisted thriller that that's not going to work. So you do your research. You make sure that if you have got a dark, twisted thriller, read other dark, twisted thrillers that you like, find out who represents those authors, go to that agent and say, I'm contacting you because I love X and I know that you also love X, so I thought you might like Y. Or if you've met them, you can bring up, it was lovely to meet you at such and such conference, or to see you on stage at such and such. You get so much enthusiasm for your job. I felt I had to contact you. Make a personal reason for each agent, and you might send off to loads of agents, but make sure each one there is a reason for that agent. And yes, that takes time. That takes research.
Mhm.
It's worth doing it. The next thing is, once you've said why them, the personal, you're going to go on to people and plot. So you're going to say briefly what your story is about. Now, we talked last week about your elevator pitch, where you get in the characters and the basic plot. This is a point for you to add in your elevator pitch. So it would be, for me, it would be Babs and Aggie is a women's fiction novel with a cozy fantasy magic realism twist. It tells a story of 2 centuries old witches living in modern suburbia, running a cafe and helping their friends through various problems. That brings me on to the final P, which should actually be the most important one, which is personality. As you're doing all this, we mentioned before, it's not a dear sir or madam, here's my story, I hope you enjoy it. You have to let your personality shine through, and the personality of the book. So Babs and Aggie is a very upbeat, mischievous book. So I wouldn't then be using language like it's, you know, anything that would detract from that. Give me an example, Deanne, because my mind's just gone blank.
You wouldn't use words like trauma. You
Yes.
wouldn't use words like troubling.
Yes.
There has to be an element of trouble, but the overall tone of the story is upbeat.
Yes.
So you wouldn't be focusing on, nor would you focus on the setting. You wouldn't talk about, sweeping panoramic views of society or landscape or anything like that, because it's about people, very, very close down to people.
Yes. We get on to the 3 W's, which is, the first of which is what. So we've given our elevator pitch, and I've said it tells a story of these centuries-old witches living in modern suburbia. I would then say what it's really about is the feeling of invisibility that can affect women of a certain age, that loss of self. It's also about the power of friendship and how that can help overcome various issues, the strength that can be brought about through the connection of community and helping others. So it tells what the core messages are. So you've got, this is a story, this is what it's really about, though. So that's all about the story. You then get onto the practicalities. You say where you would imagine it sitting in a bookshop. So you give a couple of comp titles. So I would say it would appeal to fans of Richard Osman and Jodie Taylor. It would sit comfortably with Joanne Harris. It would sit comfortably with Terry Pratchett. Oh, thank you. I dare say it and you dare say it. I love that. And so you're giving them a feel for how they can then pitch it to a publisher. And the final W is why. You started with why them, as in why you're going to that agent. You're going to finish with why you had to be the one to tell this story. In my pitches for Babs and Aggie, I told them very frank about it, in that this started life as a short story, and by the time I got to the end of the first paragraph, I knew these 2 had a lot more to say, and they would not shut up until the novel had finished. That's why I had to tell it, because I had these 2 characters who sprang out of my head and went, right, we're going to talk, you're going to write it down.
Yes.
And that, I do feel a bit of a fraud that I've written this fantastic book, and I feel like I'm a fraud because I had these 2 characters who were saying, Dan, then I will say this. Yeah, and then I'll say this. It's almost like when the children are little and you can hear them playing, and then let's pretend I said this. Yeah, and then let's pretend that I said that.
Yes, it really is. Being a writer can be a bit like having a split personality, can't it?
Yes. The final thing is, when you finish off, always be gracious, thank them for the time for reading it, and make sure that your contact details are on there. So there we have it. This could be a much bigger exercise in itself, as could all 4 of these. And I think we will be covering them in more detail when we relaunch Bookforge. We have had some questions about when we're doing that, and because there has been an appetite for it, we have decided to move it forward. We will keep you updated, but we're hoping that it will be this side of Christmas.
We're hoping. Yes, not that we've got absolutely nothing else to do.
No, but we are going to get our fingers out and get something out there for you.
Yes,
very soon.
Exactly. So yes, so thank you very much for talking everybody through how to write the cover letter, Hazel. And yes, I know you've got quite a lot of experience, and I know that, and just to reiterate what we said near the start of this, each time you write this, you will need to tweak what you've got in order to suit that particular agent. And it's not just changing the name and, you know, because it's set out like a formal letter, putting their address, changing the address that you've got on the letter. It's not just that. It's especially the, you know, why are you sending it to this person, and why is it particularly relevant to them?
Just that would be your covering email anyway, because very, very few agents, I can't think of any actually, accept physical copies of manuscripts and things these days. Everything's done electronically, so it would be your covering email.
Yes, yeah, cover. Yes, I know. I'm so old-fashioned, still calling it a letter when it's a letter sent by electronic mail. Yes,
you still use a chisel and hammer on a slate, don't you?
Well, you know, if the quill pen is out of order, yes. I know, I'm a bit of a Luddite. Okay, so thank you for following this series of 4, and we look forward to seeing you with a new selection of videos starting very soon. We'll see you soon. Bye-bye.
Take care. Bye-bye.